with Miranda, your information gateway.
Now, joining me in the studio now, I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome back, as she hasn't been here for a while, is Mercury Prize winner and headliner at the Harbourside Festival next weekend. It's none other than Onallee.
Hello.
Hello, my darling.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm very well, actually. I'm kind of 80%. I'm still suffering from a little bit of jet lag because I've been all over the world.
You have. Since your incredible Futurism 3.0 gig in February at the Colston Hall, you have been literally all the way around the world, have you not?
Well, I've been to Asia 3 times, notably China, India. I've just come back from LA, went to Europe for a bit, yeah.
Yeah, and why was this?
I was actually on a few trade missions with the Department of International Trade and the BPI. They take UK music businesses over to other markets, international markets, and we go and hang out with some very important people and have a good time. And and in LA I was songwriting actually with some top people. And it was really good because I've never actually written songs for other people really before. I've just written for Represent and for myself. And so it was magic, yeah. Yeah,
wicked. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing a couple of the tracks that were a result of those trips. So that'll be amazing. Now, one of the reasons why you're here today, other than playing your amazing music, of course, and talking about your gig next week, is a kind of a reaction to the outpour post that were on Facebook this week. Kind of like questioning Ujima's support of Pride and in general the kind of Afro-Caribbean attitude towards the LGBT community, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. What were your thoughts on that? Well, how did you feel when you saw those posts?
Yeah, it was a bit of a Facebook brawl. It was. So like there were there were accusations that Ujima gave more attention to Pride out of self-interest regarding funding, and it was framed as Ujima was going against its core mission by seemingly paying more attention to Bristol Pride to Bristol Pride event than to the grassroots event at the Malcolm X, and that revealed some very ugly transactions. Black people kind of denigrating other black people and calling people who were having same-sex relationships vile and filth and all that sort of stuff. And for me, it's like that is not actually acceptable, to be honest. Even if you don't agree with something, you don't have the right to abuse other people. And for me, it's just we have to kind of stop this division. The discrimination against same-sex relationships is the same kind of discrimination that we get. So, how can you be against discrimination and then do it to someone else? And my thing is that the LGBTQ issues are black issues. It's like healthcare is a black issue, workers' rights is a black issue, women's rights are a black issue. So for me, it was just stop. It
was extremely painful to read, wasn't it?
It was a bit much, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely shocking.
And really, it's time for us to come out of other people's business. People have same-sex relationships. Deal with it.
Yeah. I mean? The interesting thing was when somebody accused this person or these people of being homophobic, he went, "No, I'm not."
It was outrageous.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, if we don't defend against that sort of discrimination across the board, then, we're doing ourselves and everyone else a disservice, to be honest with you. But, it's an age-old problem. It's not just in the African and Caribbean community. It is across society as a whole. So, I'm not trying to say that the African Caribbean community has, any worse problems than the rest of society. It's something that we all have to deal with together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I really appreciate your comments. Let's just hope that, by the kind of conversation happening, we can just hope that maybe people learn something. And the good thing is to talk about these things, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just not to stand up for it. I mean, when it comes it's not all right for people to call other people vile because they've made some choices that they don't agree with. It's outrageous.
Yeah, or that they're not welcome in their communities and they're not safe walking around their communities.
Yeah, I just took exception to the way it was framed, really, that that's nothing to do with us. That's some other people's business over there. It's not true.
No, of course not. Of course not. Okay, well, let's get back to talking about music.
Yay!
Yay! Because that's what we hear, what's what you love, and that's what you're so good at. And in fact, you know, when I hear you speak like that, it makes me realise where your kind of inspiration for your lyrics come from. Because you're actually quite a deep person, aren't you?
Am I?
You know, yeah, you are. You know, I never for years realised. No, I'm joking. But you know, your lyrics really have some meaning, and to me, anyway, I really like that. Now, perhaps why you've been asked to go and write some stuff for some other people because they can see your talent. So you've been over to LA. Yes. Tell us about the first track we're going to play in a minute after the ad break is called Push. Tell us a bit about that before we go into the ad break.
Yeah, that's actually a tune that I wrote with Nifa Miras. That I didn't write that in LA. That's Nifa Miras are a class drum and bass act, and I've done some tunes with them before. This one's coming out next week, actually, on the 28th of July. And it's different.
Okay, awesome. And that's called Push. So we're going to play that. We're going to take a bit of a break. I've just seen the time. We're going to go and pay our bills, and we'll come back with the track called Push. We're speaking to Onallee here on The Word on Ujima. You're listening to The Word on Ujima 98 FM, the UK's #1 urban station. We've got Onallee, Mercury Prize winner, live in the studio today. She's going to be headlining at the Harbour Festival next Saturday night. Welcome, young lady.
Hello.
Hey.
You keep saying headlining, but I'm just playing last, that's all.
That's what headlining is, sister.
Well,
sister.
Equality amongst the artists.
Yeah, no, okay. I know. Fair enough. I know. That's all right. Whatever. But that track, Push, I absolutely love it. Really different. Yeah, awesome. Well done. Love that. Cool. Okay, so listen, when you played at the Colston Hall in February, you made a point of saying how you were then going to boycott it because they needed to change the name of Colston Hall. Well, you made an incredible speech at the end. Yeah, it was quite empowering.
Okay, yeah.
I
remember that. Yeah. But the whole reason I wanted to play there was instead of boycotting it, I wanted to have that was my way of occupying the space, because that's another form of political protest. But I probably wouldn't have gone back in there had they not agreed to change the name. So because I was in China and BBC Radio texted me and saying, do you want a comment? And I'm like, on what? Because I didn't really understand the message. And then I understood later that they'd agreed, they'd made this announcement and they wanted to talk to me. But anyway, I was 5,000 miles away. But the whole reason I wanted it to change anyway is because we don't really need a commemorative building to slave owners to connect us, the African, Caribbean community to our history. Bristol has quite a few other commemorations of Colston, but that's to me that was like a civic building that should include everybody. And the whole argument for me really was misleading. The way it was framed was in this binary argument where you either wanted to keep the name, or if you agreed that the name should come down, then you were in favour of erasure of history regarding
airbrushing over history of
slavery. And to me that was a total red herring. People were saying things to me like it's our Auschwitz, the black community's Auschwitz, and I was like, well, no, it's not. Actually, no slaves were housed there, transported or sold from there. The building wasn't even built with Colston's money. It was built after he died and named after him in commemoration. And the school building, Colston School Building, was actually demolished in 1861. So, no, it wasn't, And it was also said that Colston was being used as a scapegoat as there were other slavers. And that's true. But actually, he was the head of the Royal African Company who had the monopoly on slave trading in England. So actually, he is actually quite symbolic and actually very important, and if anything, I want to see more statues of the other people, the other forefathers of Bristol, the Africans who helped build this city, and especially those who kind of lost their lives, and I remember being told that I should be more concerned with modern events, like Ras Judea or modern slavery. Which I found quite incredulous, because I'm like, why can't you be concerned with both? Exactly. People have just said some really ludicrous things, like some quite smart people. I'm happy about us making progress, and I'm happy about us having more say in how our history is framed in this city.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would be nice to have some kind of museum, perhaps towards the African slave trade.
I think they tried that, didn't they? I mean, I know in Emshed they have that
yes,
display.
They've got some amazing archive stuff there. Yeah,
they did try that, and then they shut it down.
If you had any say in the name change of Colston Hall, what would you like it to be changed to?
I don't have a specific name, but I think they should take, as I said, the African contribution to Bristol's history into account. Maybe name it after an African slave who was traded by Colston, or who something like that, or something that signifies that it's a people's place, like it's a unified people's place, not just celebrating one part of history.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Okay, we've just got time to play your other track that you've sent in, which I absolutely love. Now, tell us a little bit about Sister.
Okay. So when I was in LA, we weren't just like writing songs for other people. We were actually writing songs for films like the new Tyler Perry movie and other TV programs and all that kind of stuff. Like music supervisors and companies come in and they give you this brief. They say, we want a song like this, and then you're sat in a room full of like very talented people, and then you all have to come up with this song in like a day.
Because you've done stuff for movies as well, haven't you? You did a title track for a massive movie. What was it called?
It was called Sisters. Actually, it was actually called Sisters, but this is not the track. But that was the Tina Fey, Amy Schumer comedy movie that came out last year or whatever, and like that was a total surprise. Like Universal Pictures just phoned us up out of nowhere, and they wanted this specific track that I wrote with the freestylers like 10 years ago. It was amazing. Which kind of gave me the light bulb and said, oh my god, I can definitely do this. So that was one of the songs that was written, I think, for I can't remember the name of the film, but it was to do with all the female empowerment and feisty females.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And it's called Sister. Onallee, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, darling.
Enjoy the gig next week. I'm going to tell everyone that you're on about 8ish in the evening. I'm allowed to say. Okay. I'm on at 8:45. Oh, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
For an hour.
So you're the last band.
I'm the last band, and D Product is going to be there, and Lenny Laws is going to come out and do a few new songs, and it's going to be great. So see you there.
It's going to be awesome. Onallee, thank you so much for joining us.
The Word with Miranda.